want to preface today's video by saying that sometimes I think Africa deserves all the pain and suffering it goes through. A part of me sometimes thinks that we earned everything that's wrong with this continent, everything that's wrong in our countries. And I have come to that realization because let's talk about something as simple as climate change. For about 10-15 years, it's been a fad. Everyone and their mother wanted to talk about sustainability, climate change, climate action, weather patterns, and such things. And I remember, maybe I'm a bit dead inside, but I like it like that. I'm one of those people who always believed, and not just believed, always knew that in a way climate action was just another trend, another marketing ploy for the people who are really in charge of this world to continue making more money, because one of the ways you make a lot of money is by creating instability in the ethos. Because you have to understand that in life, as you're living, you're chasing a moving target. So the only way to ensure that there's always money flowing is to create an idea of there's expansion in the system. And the only way to do that is to keep people moving because we are chasing a moving target. I hope that makes sense. I know it does. I hope it has made sense to you. Now, the simple reason why I've always known that climate action is a hoax is for just one word, entropy. Go and look it up. E-N-T-R-O-P-Y, entropy. Just go and look it up. And now, at this point, just over the weekend, Bill Gates came out with a statement basically saying what he has been championing for about depopulation and reforestation and greening up everything, even green energy and things like that, is basically overkill and we should be reining it back. He said we should shift our focus from green energy and sustainability towards innovation. And keep this in mind that by the time they say it, especially the people who are in the upper echelon, the people who make the decisions, by the time they say it, it's because they have already created systems to facilitate their statements. Okay? Remember in the Garden of Eden, we lost the image of God. We did not lose the likeness of God. And the likeness of God dictates that by the time you say something, you have already worked it out to the point where when you say it, it begins moving immediately. Saying it is like switching on a system that you have already created, and it begins moving immediately. So basically, that's what Bill Gates was doing in that very simple single-page statement. Basically, he was signaling to the entire world that officially we have shifted. We are not going to try to justify polluting anymore. We as Europeans and the Western world have decided from now on that we are not going to cough out money for Africans to go and play sustainability on the continent in the name of we are the biggest polluters. He was basically saying, whether you like it or not, the AI and automated world is here. In the next 10, 15 years, that's what you'll be interacting with. Basically, that's what he was saying. He was saying that they're removing all the stops that were in the way of them building a mechanized and automated world. And once again, Africa has been left naked in the market at noon. Because for the past even 10 years, some of the biggest loans we've been taking from IMF, from the World Bank, grants from countries and governments, Europe, America, even China. Within it has always been a clause for sustainability, for greening, and even shutting down our expansion into fossil fuel. Ask yourself why there's no oil coming from Turkana up to this day. Ask yourself why the coal mines in Eastern have never been opened. Because we have a coal reserve in this country that would literally change our lives. Ask yourselves why South Africa had to shut down their coal mines. Ask yourselves why Nigeria, all of a sudden, everyone is speaking about how Nigeria... Yes, of course, people are dying in Nigeria. Don't get me wrong. But why all of a sudden everyone is gaining interest in Nigeria? It's because they've just started expanding their oil production. This is why I started by saying that sometimes we earn our pain. It's because every single time we go to them with a plate, we are borrowing. We don't even sit to read the small print in the loans. We are so desperate to maintain a semblance of comfort, and I don't even know, because we can't even call it being rich. Our leaders, they would rather sell our souls than admit that we might have to have it hard for a few years for things to get better. They will give literally anything to keep flying all over the world, to keep their 10-car motor kids, to keep their children in international schools and all over in the world, in the universities over there where they're abusing drugs and doing all the manner of dirt in the world. They'd rather keep them comfortable. They'd rather maintain an image of their rich than admit that as Africans, we have to sit this one out, that we don't have to take all the loans, that we might have to sit down and restructure our government, that a few people might have to lose their jobs for a few years, that maybe some of us need to go back to subsistence for a few years, that some of us will have to go outside the country and work purposely to rebuild our country. They don't want to have those conversations. So rather than that, they keep borrowing. And they accept all the terms under the sun. We have signed loans that say we cannot industrialize for a few years. Because effectively, if you cannot produce energy, you cannot industrialize effectively. Because with industrialization, you need cheap energy. Cheap, dependable energy. We have signed loans that have ballooned our tax obligations for businesses and small industries and homesteads. We have taken loans that have basically within it a clause that says if you default, the interest goes up by double what it was. And now we are going to COP30. And while last year in COP29, the one that was in Egypt, they were talking about maybe Africans might end up getting some money as reparations for the rest of the industrialized first world countries for the amount of pollution that they have done. Now we are going to COP30 with the assurance that no one is going to live there with money. So effectively, Africans are screwed. And the fact that they have admitted they got it wrong does not mean that the terms of those loans will change. So our hands will keep on being tied as they advance and move on and gain more. And ideally, they're going to gain even more from our land. Because one of the things that Africans have done foolishly is give up land in the name of carbon credit. Now that carbon credit will not be a real thing, what do you think those foreigners are going to do with that land? They have the money, they have the expertise, they have the time and the opportunity. They are going to work that land, and then they are going to flood our markets. And some of you keep arguing with me that slavery is not going to come back. You will see it in your lifetime. That I can bet my life on. You will see it in your lifetime. I know I have said so many things, so deconstruct it and then let's keep having this conversation.